What's up, guys? It is Mike from ManaHoarders. In this video, I want to discuss with you why Armageddon gets so much hate in the Commander community, and if there are other cards that are even worse than this one that we do not see very often. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and analyze this card. For 4 mana, you can cast a white sorcery that destroys all lands. While not that powerful on its own, it can be quite a nice card to use in a few combos. One in particular that I've been on the receiving end of before in a Commander game is the Armageddon plus Teferi's Protection combo. Essentially, the person will cast Armageddon, and then while it is on the stack, cast Teferi's Protection, phase out, everyone else's lands get destroyed while they are left unharmed. Now bear in mind, this is my own personal opinion, but I feel it's one that quite a few Commander players would agree with. As to why Armageddon is so hated is the simple fact that it slows down the game so much whenever someone plays this. Now that we have looked at Armageddon and are well aware of its land destroying capabilities, let's check out some cards that do something very similar to it that you may not know about. First up we have Boom and Bust. With the first activation, you can destroy target land you control and target land you don't control, but for 6 mana you can destroy all lands, so a slightly more expensive Armageddon but in red. For 6 mana you can cast Catastrophe, a white sorcery that reads destroy all creatures or all lands. Creatures destroyed this way can be regenerated, so you have a potential land wipe or board wipe. Next up we have Fall of Thran. For 6 mana you can play a white enchantment Saga. Whenever it gets its first lore counter, destroy all lands. This card is nice enough to give each player 2 lands whenever it gets those other lore counters, but the fact that it does land wipe makes it perfect for this list. For a small investment of 2 mana, you can play a red enchantment called Impending Disaster. During your upkeep, if there are 7 or more lands in play, sacrifice Impending Disaster and destroy all lands. Well, how nice. If you demand the finer things from your Commander experience, you could run Ravages of War, Armageddon's much more esteemed grandfather. For 4 mana, you can cast a white sorcery that destroys all lands. Sounds awfully familiar. For just 7 mana, you can cast Devastation, a red sorcery that will destroy all lands and all creatures. A card that is sure to cause chaos at your Commander table. Strategy Schmategy. For 2, you can cast a red sorcery. This card does involve rolling a 6-sided die. If you roll a 1, nothing happens. A 2, destroy all artifacts. A 3, destroy all lands, hence why it's on this list. If you roll a 4, deal 3 damage to each creature and player. 5, each player discards his or her hand and draws 7 cards. And if you roll a 6, roll the die 2 more times. So, quite an interesting card. Quite fun if you want to just throw something in to spice up the game a little bit. I could see this being run in a jank deck due to the fact that it's unpredictable, but it does destroy lands, hence why we are talking about it now. The next 4 cards on this list, and our final 4 cards, are all in the color red, which might explain why they are so angry. Jokal Hops. For 6 mana you can cast a red sorcery, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and lands. They can't be regenerated. If you are the player that wants to exact righteous fury on the entire table, then Obliterate, a red sorcery, is the card for you. Obliterate can't be countered. Also, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and lands. They can't be regenerated.
Have your enemies united against you. Unleash your rage upon them.
Become the embodiment of rage itself. For 10 mana, you can summon Myojin of Infinite Rage, a 7/4 legendary spirit. When it enters the battlefield, it comes in with a divinity counter if you played it from your hand. As long as it has that divinity counter, it is indestructible. And you can also remove the divinity counter to destroy all lands. You have a 7/4 indestructible attacker or blocker. Also, you have a pretty good bargaining tool. If someone tries to attack you or tries to remove this with some sort of targeted removal, you can threaten to destroy all lands on the board. So a very good politicking tool you should consider.
All shall suffer.
Closing out our list, we have Decree of Annihilation, a red sorcery you can cast for 10. Exile all artifacts, creatures, and lands from the battlefield, all cards from all graveyards, and all cards from all hands. You can also cycle it for a modest 7 mana and still destroy all lands. This is hands down the most destructive card I have ever seen. And as we've seen on this list, Armageddon is a rather annoying card to play against, but there are cards that are even more powerful in existence. That brings us to the end of the video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like and subscribe, and leave us a comment below. Let us know what you would like to see in the future. We really appreciate the support.